When you drink coffee, your body doesn't get a boost of energy from caffeine directly. Instead, caffeine acts as a molecular trickster, blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. Adenosine is a neurotransmitter that promotes sleepiness, and when it's blocked, you feel more awake. Within just 15 minutes of drinking coffee, caffeine crosses the blood-brain barrier. This blockage leads to increased neuron firing and the release of adrenaline, the fight-or-flight hormone. So, contrary to popular belief, coffee isn't giving you energy, it's preventing your brain from feeling tired. The result? An alertness spike that has nothing to do with true energy gain. Coffee is often thought to dehydrate you, but drinking it actually contributes to your fluid intake. A 2014 study in PLOS1 found that moderate coffee consumption hydrates as effectively as water. Once ingested, caffeine stimulates the kidneys, increasing urine production. This diuretic effect is offset by the liquid volume of the coffee itself. Thus, your body's net hydration balance remains largely unchanged. Importantly, the more you drink coffee, the more your body adapts to its diuretic effects. Regular coffee consumers show a reduced diuretic response compared to non-habitual drinkers. This adaptation counters the widespread dehydration myth. Many believe coffee provides an immediate metabolism boost, but the reality is more nuanced. Caffeine can increase your basal metabolic rate (BMR) by 3–11%, but this varies among individuals. The effect peaks about 3 hours after consumption. This increase is largely due to thermogenesis, where your body generates heat by burning calories. Caffeine stimulates the release of norepinephrine, a hormone that signals fat cells to break down fat. However, the metabolic impact diminishes with regular consumption as your body builds tolerance. So while coffee may temporarily elevate your metabolism, the effect is neither immediate nor permanent. Coffee's reputation as a digestive aid is only partially true. It stimulates gastrin, a hormone that increases acid production in your stomach. This can lead to quicker digestion but not necessarily improved digestion. Gastrin-induced acid boosts can lead to a laxative effect for some people. Research in the World Journal of Gastroenterology shows that coffee can increase colonic activity within 30 minutes. Yet this effect is highly individual, depending on your body's gastrin sensitivity. For some, coffee aids regularity; for others, it might cause discomfort. Thus, coffee's effect on digestion is complex and varies widely. Common wisdom suggests coffee is purely a stimulant, but it also has antioxidants like chlorogenic acid. This compound can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. A 2017 review in the journal Molecules highlighted coffee as a significant source of antioxidants in the Western diet. Inside your body, chlorogenic acid is metabolized by gut flora, producing compounds that enhance antioxidant activity. Unlike caffeine's effects, which are rapid, these antioxidant benefits accumulate over time. So coffee isn't just a quick fix for alertness, it also contributes to long-term cellular health. These antioxidants work subtly, in contrast to caffeine's fast-acting effects. Inside your liver, caffeine undergoes a remarkable transformation. It is metabolized by the enzyme CYP1A2, a member of the cytochrome P450 family. This enzyme breaks caffeine down into 3 primary metabolites: paraxanthine, theobromine, and theophylline. Paraxanthine, the most abundant, increases lipolysis, freeing fatty acids for energy use. Theobromine dilates blood vessels and increases urine output, while theophylline relaxes bronchial smooth muscle, aiding respiration. Interestingly, genetic differences in CYP1A2 can influence caffeine metabolism speed, affecting its duration of action. This enzymatic breakdown is the gateway through which caffeine's effects are modulated throughout your body. Caffeine's journey doesn't end in the liver, it also intricately interacts with your nervous system. By blocking adenosine receptors, caffeine prevents adenosine from binding and initiating a cascade of calming effects. This leads to increased dopamine transmission, enhancing mood and alertness. Within your brain, this increased dopamine level is akin to the effects of amphetamines, albeit on a smaller scale. A study published in Neuropsychopharmacology in 2015 showed that caffeine increases dopamine availability in the striatum, an area critical for reward and motivation. This neural interplay underlies why caffeine can be habit-forming, stimulating reward pathways similar to more potent stimulants. In your gut, caffeine doesn't just passively linger, it actively influences microbial activity. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2020 found that coffee consumption can alter gut microbiota composition. Caffeine increases the abundance of bifidobacteria, beneficial microbes linked to anti-inflammatory effects. This modulation of gut flora can improve gut health, potentially reducing the risk of gastrointestinal disorders. Moreover, these microbiota interact with caffeine metabolites, affecting their absorption and bioavailability. This complex relationship highlights caffeine's broader metabolic impacts beyond immediate stimulation. The gut-brain axis is yet another domain influenced by caffeine's biochemical footprint. Caffeine also impacts your cardiovascular system, primarily through its effects on catecholamines like adrenaline and noradrenaline. These hormones increase heart rate and blood pressure, preparing your body for heightened activity. A 2019 study in the Journal of Hypertension found that this effect peaks within 30 minutes of consumption. Interestingly, regular coffee drinkers often develop a tolerance, experiencing a milder cardiovascular response over time. This adaptation involves downregulation of adrenergic receptors, reducing sensitivity to catecholamines. Thus, caffeine's cardiovascular effects are both immediate and subject to long-term modulation. Your body's ability to adapt underscores the nuanced effects of caffeine. Beyond immediate effects, caffeine also influences metabolic pathways related to glucose regulation. Caffeine prompts the release of glucose from the liver into the bloodstream, providing a quick energy source. This process is mediated by glucagon, a hormone that raises blood glucose levels. However, the insulin response required to process this glucose can be blunted by caffeine, as shown in a 2013 study in diabetes care. This may explain why caffeine can temporarily impair insulin sensitivity in some individuals. It's a delicate balance where caffeine's metabolic triggers can have both beneficial and challenging aspects. The interplay between caffeine and glucose homeostasis is a complex dance. Consuming excessive coffee can push your adrenal glands into overdrive. These glands, perched atop your kidneys, produce cortisol, the stress hormone. Chronic overconsumption can lead to elevated cortisol levels, causing fatigue and stress. A 2018 study in psychoneuroendocrinology found that high coffee intake over weeks increases baseline cortisol. This prolonged stress response can disrupt sleep, impair immune function, and exacerbate anxiety. The adrenal system's feedback loop becomes altered, leaving you feeling drained rather than energized. Thus, while moderate coffee can enhance alertness, overuse flips the script, taxing your body's stress response. The balance is crucial to maintaining energy and well-being. Long-term coffee consumption can lead to caffeine tolerance, where your body diminishes its response to caffeine. This occurs as adenosine receptors upregulate, increasing their numbers to counteract caffeine's blocking effects. A study in the Journal of Neuroscience in 2021 showed that tolerance develops within a few days of regular intake. Consequently, more coffee is needed to achieve the same alertness, leading to a cycle of increased consumption. This physiological adaptation underscores caffeine's impact on neural plasticity. Your brain's ability to adapt to repetitive stimuli is both a marvel and a cautionary tale. The cycle of tolerance and dependence reveals the body's incredible adaptability. Coffee companies often highlight caffeine's benefits, yet they may not emphasize its addictive potential. Caffeine withdrawal symptoms can manifest as early as 12 hours after cessation. Headaches, fatigue, and irritability are common signs, driven by sudden adenosine receptor unblocking. A 2014 review in the Journal of Caffeine Research noted that about 50% of caffeine users experience withdrawal symptoms. This dependency showcases caffeine's role as the world's most widely consumed psychoactive drug. Its pervasive accessibility masks the neurological grip it can exert. The withdrawal cycle reveals an often overlooked aspect of daily coffee habits. Caffeine's subtle hold underscores its powerful influence on your brain chemistry. Excessive coffee intake can have paradoxical effects on bone health. Caffeine can interfere with calcium absorption, essential for bone density. A 2017 study in Osteoporosis International found that high coffee consumption correlates with lower bone mineral density in older adults. This effect is subtle but significant over time, especially if dietary calcium intake is inadequate. The mechanism involves caffeine's diuretic effect, increasing calcium excretion via urine. Thus, while caffeine stimulates, it can also silently sap your skeletal strength. The interplay between coffee and bone health is a hidden narrative of nutrient balance. Understanding this dynamic is vital for long-term skeletal health. The most intriguing fact about coffee might be its protective effects against certain diseases. Regular coffee drinkers have a lower risk of developing Parkinson's disease, according to a 2019 meta-analysis in the Journal of Neurology. Caffeine's neuroprotective properties are linked to its modulation of dopaminergic pathways. This protective effect is dose-dependent, with those consuming 3–5 cups daily showing the greatest benefit. Caffeine appears to inhibit neurodegeneration by preserving dopamine neurons. This reframes our understanding of caffeine not merely as a stimulant but as a potential safeguard for brain health. So while coffee stimulates, it may also protect your brain in profound ways.